My name is Kavicandra Swami. So we're asked here to say something about Harinama Sankirtana or public chanting. So we know that from our history, especially Lord Nityananda and Haridas Thakur, who are the main acharyas of our society, they were going daily on the order of Lord Chaitanya, door to door, chanting in the streets also, and going house to house, chanting in front of the house, asking everybody to chant. Lord Nityananda would say, "This is the only donation I ask, just chant." So if we want to associate with Lord Nityananda intimately, then we need to also go out. That's my understanding. Srila Prabhupada in Los Angeles, I don't know what year it was, but the installation of Gaur-Nitai deities, he said, we are ultimately seeking to be with Radha and Krishna, but in order to get Radha and Krishna, we have to have the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. And he said, in order to have the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, we need the mercy of Lord Nityananda. And he said, in order to have the mercy of Lord Nityananda, you need the mercy of Jagai and Madai. So that means we go out to meet all the Jagais. And he also said at the same time that now everyone is Jagai and Madai. So it means we go out. So that's our mission. Prabhupada, took devotees out personally very early on and chanted himself in the park. And he was very happy to see that. So we can understand that it's very pleasing to Lord Chaitanya, very pleasing to Lord Nityananda, very pleasing to Prabhupada. That's a good reason to do it, right? That's my understanding. Sometimes I just think I especially like to see the reaction of people seeing us, and people taking note, hearing the holy name for the first time, or getting a mantra card or whatever they get, getting a cookie. This is ecstatic to see that, because this is, and we've experienced. I know I used to ask people, how did people at the Sunday feast, and almost everybody that came, the majority was from Harinama. Somehow they get attracted by that. Sometimes if they get a book, of course we want that, but they may think, now I have to read this book or something. But we want both. But the public chanting is, and for the devotees, is extremely purifying and helps us to see very clearly the difference between the devotees and the non-devotees. How futile material life is, how people are just running. All the things that we read about, we can see very clearly are true, that they're just running around, they're just chasing after one misery after another. But many, when they see the Harinam, they just light up, and they start asking us, what are we doing? So they're making so much spiritual progress, and we can contact so many people in a short time. Especially if we do it regularly. Daily is ideal. Then people see us again and again, and because they're so dull and busy and doesn't sink in, they just see us once in a while. And it doesn't have to be. The first Harinam I saw was one devotee. That did it for me. I didn't have to. I was convinced that's what I want to join. I saw another devotee that later in the day was another one devotee. So we don't have to have a huge party. If we can have one, that's also very good. And anywhere and everywhere, people are all waiting. They're waiting for Krishna. But if we don't go out and wake them up, there's nothing else is going to help. The Mahayagya, people are like in India now. This one guy is fasting against corruption, and everybody's all interested. But corruption is Kali Yuga, and until we push the Kali Yuga back, nothing's going to change. And he doesn't like the kirtan, we know that from scripture. He's very much afraid. So if we do more and more Harinam, then people get purified, they get caught in, we get purified. We stay strong because we're chanting much more. And that's loud chanting. When Haridas Thakur said loud chanting is 1,000 times more effective, so loud chanting means more people hear it. Not that you just sit, in a cave and chant really loud, but that it's loud, that it can be heard. It can be heard by more, and we make arrange it so that more and more people can hear the holy name. Right? So that's, I don't think you need any more than that. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. It's very important, you know. The whole movement started with nothing but Harinam. We didn't have anything else. And, you know, people were joining like anything. And that's everywhere in the world, every country. When they first start, they just do Harinam all the time. And some, even though there's no opulence, no good facilities, just ecstasy, right? And then we get so many other things. Sometimes Harinam we don't have, you know, but we have to remember that street chanting is, you know, that's our Mahayagya. And the book distribution flourishes because of that. Makes people like us. Where, you know, they liked it, except a really bad demon, which are very rare. You know, they love it. They get entertained. They're happy. You know, these guys are dancing in the street. And, you know, they like it. It's a refreshment for them. And in some countries, many people join in and dance like anything. Right? Even in Israel, everyone thinks, oh, Israel. But Israel, we get more people joining in and dancing than any place I've heard of. I was waiting for the train to go to Harinam party. And the Tokyo, it was one of the two busiest train stations in rush hour. So it was just packed with people. And then there was one guy there, he was British, he's taking my picture. And he said, well, what are you doing? And I really liked those two yellow lines on your head, he said. So I talked to him a while and I said, where are you going? He was going the same place I was going. So I said, well, come with us. You know, he said, what are you going to do? I said, we're going to sing and dance. And he'd never, so he said, I lived in London. He came with, he took many pictures of the Harinam, stayed around for about an hour and talked to all the other devotees. But he said he lived in London 14 years and he's hardly ever seen devotees. Never seen him anywhere else in England. Although there's so many devotees. But this they don't see, you know. The book distributors are brahmacharis, but they go and nobody knows who they are, where they come from. And the Harinam is big once a week, otherwise it's pretty small. So, anyway, it was interesting. Especially that he said he really liked those two yellow lines on my face. I know many devotees are afraid to put on tilak, you know. But people like it's purifying. Except the demon, they don't like it. The demon don't like the holy name. They don't like anything about Krishna. Because the tilak reminds people of Krishna. Nityananda Mahaprabhu ki jai. Haridas Thakur ki jai.
Jai.
Haridas.